Hey, this is Travis and Ian with the Virginia Piedmont Heritage Area, and we are coming to you today from the village of Waterford in Loudoun County. Now, you guys have probably seen us in Waterford before. It's a frequent stop for us because it is one of the best preserved historic villages in the Virginia Piedmont. But we're here today on the anniversary of a very particular historic event that occurred right here. Mostly centered on this building behind us, the Waterford Baptist Church. And that is the fight that occurs here August 27th, 1862, between two homegrown Loudoun County units during the American Civil War. The Loudoun Rangers, largely raised from the Unionists of Waterford, Lovettsville, northern Loudoun County, and the 35th Battalion of Virginia Cavalry, or White's Comanches. Again, local guys from this very same part of Loudoun County. So Ian is going to tell us a little bit about these two gentlemen, these two foes, and how they ended up here at this church in August of 1862.
Right, so Captain Elijah White and his band of about 60, or a small company of what will become the 35th Battalion of Virginia Cavalry, was actually planning an attack here at this church. He found out that Captain Samuel Means and his recently raised company of the Loudoun Rangers, about 28 of them, were actually encamped here around the church. Now, Means himself was actually down the road a little bit at his home, and so was not present in the morning. So early in the morning on the 27th, Elijah White's troops came down this road here and attacked the Unionists, the Loudoun Rangers here at the church. And so for several hours, the Rangers headed inside the house, barricaded themselves inside the church, and for several hours had a standoff with White's Comanches. And several times throughout these several hours, a local woman, Mrs. Verts, actually was sent by White to the church here to try and get the Rangers to surrender. And the first time they said no. The second time they again said no. And they actually threatened that they might kill her if she came back again a third time. But by that third time, it's several hours into this now, and they're out of ammunition, running out of supplies. Both sides are, and so both sides are really wanting to get out of this engagement. And so on that third attempt, they actually do surrender with the agreement that they can be paroled. And so all of the soldiers here were paroled. A few of them were captured by White's troops. But this will really mark the end of the day for these events here on August 27th, 1862.
Yeah, so all throughout that August day, as Ian said, hours and hours of gunfighting. You know, you've got these Unionists, Loudoun Rangers, barricaded within the church. A few men are going to be killed or mortally wounded on each side. The officer who's in charge of the Loudoun Rangers here at the church, Luther Slater, he's going to be wounded in the neck. It's a fairly bloody little fight for the scale, but it just goes to show the intensity between these two locally raised Loudoun units. And, you know, one of the stories that we always tell about this engagement is as those Union troops are surrendering, as they're being marched out of the church after this gunfight, one of the Confederate soldiers is going to rush up to a Union prisoner and hold a gun to his head, threatening to kill him. And as it turns out, those two soldiers were the Snoots brothers, one in the Confederate Army, one in the Union Army. The Confederate brother threatening to kill his own brother after he had surrendered. Now, thankfully for the Snootses, cooler heads did prevail that August day. But, you know, we'd like to talk about the Civil War as being brother against brother. Well, it is literally true right here in the town of Waterford. This is very much divided ground between 1861 and 1865. So, as you're passing through this town, you might want to stop. There's a wonderful Civil War trails marker here talking about the fight here at the Waterford Church, talking about some of the other Unionist activity here. We're going to catch up with you guys a little bit later on this afternoon with some of the other historical highlights of the village of Waterford. So thanks for joining us.